Hey everyone, so I kind of lied. I did say over the past couple of weeks that this would be my last Music of the Week episode of 2022, which it will be, but I did also promise that it would have 6 albums. It doesn't, it's only got 5 because I looked ahead to one of them on the day I was going to listen to, which was last Friday. And I'll tell you what the album is. It was Space Beyond the Solar System by Raw Poetic. That was one of the albums I was going to listen to, but then I saw it was over 2 hours long, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm just not. So I didn't. So I've only got 5 albums for this one, but they're good albums, I promise you. So how about we get to it? First, we go to Laval May and Friends for Birds in Row and their third album, Gris Klein. So I have no clue if I'm saying that right because of it being in, because of the title being in French. But I know that it's a reference to Cloy in Blue, which is a very famous painting. And this album gets the only A grade and is possibly also a late runner for being in the top 30. I'm giving it an A+. I really loved all of the elements to this one. The main lyrical theme is that of depression, and it really fits well with their post-hardcore emo sort of style. And this is that sort of like proper older feeling post-hardcore emo. And I like how it works as well. Like, again, the theme of depression is really well told through like a very loosely connected story with like topics like faith and relationships also coming into play as well. The instrumentation is really good, very heavy, very classic feeling post-hardcore stuff, with a very nice modern edge as well. I like how dense it feels in terms of production too. It feels very well laid. It's really good mastering and mixing as well. The performances are great as well. There's only like 2 members currently, and they use sort of like, they all have real names, but they prefer to use initials, and I can't remember. I think I'm gonna have to rig it up, but like one of them is just simply Q, if memory serves. Yeah, okay. Quentin Sauve, who's the bassist, and Bart Hirigoyen, or just B, who is the guitarist and I think vocalist. I don't know. It's very weird, but they both do a great job. But they both do a great job. 10 out of 10 English here. The structuring is great as well. It's just under 43 minutes long, but it is still very well paced. And it knows how to fill the time very well with some interesting tricks thrown in here and there, as is wont to do for this particular style of post-hardcore. And it's got very unique takes in some parts as well, so I can definitely recommend you give it a try. It's really goddamn good. Next we go to Switzerland. No, I don't know where, for Gomorrah and their second album, technically second album, Dealer of Souls. So it's technically the second because this is actually the third name the band has had. They've been around since 1994, and they've had a couple of other names. I think from 1994 to 2000 they were known as the Gonorrheas, and then from 2000 to 2019, 2020 they switched to Gomorrah, and so I'm just counting their career as Gomorrah. Having said that, this is very solid power metal. Giving it a B+. I really liked a lot of the elements to it as well. It's got the riffs going for it. The solo work especially is really goddamn good. I love the guitar work on this album all in all. Really nice drumming as well, obviously. I like the lyricism, focused on like sort of a religious theme and told in a sort of like fancy storytelling way, as is the usual thing for power metal, but it's done in a much darker and interesting take than most power metal lyrics, so I'll enjoy it a little bit more. I did enjoy it a little bit more, actually. The performances also really great. Don't really know much of who's who, but I do have the Metal Archives page, so drummer Stefan Hosey is great, but yes, the double guitarist attack of Dominic Loom and Demir Eskic, I hope I'm saying that correctly, who both put in really great work, and yeah, the production is great too. I think it came out on what, Noble Demon? Yeah, which is a really good metal label for like European countries, and they know what they're doing. Whoever they got to handle production for this did a really good job of keeping things clean and very polished and organic at the same time. And the structuring is also fantastic as well. It is a bit of a long album, and I think it ends on an instrumental track. Again, triple checking. No, it starts with an instrumental track, but it does sort of lose its way near the end, but it's still very fun, even with that in mind, so yeah, maybe give this one a go. I enjoyed it. Next we go to Hastings UK for Kick Peachy and their second album, Here's What You Could Have Won. Now, I almost completely missed this one, which is a damn shame because I liked their first one so much when that dropped near the start, itchy shoulder, of 2021. And I like that one a lot more than this one. I'm giving this album a B though. There's still some really good elements. It's that like really well done style of Brit post-punk. I like the snarkiness to the riffs as well, especially like the bass work is really good, the guitar work too. The drums are also very nice. The lyrics obviously about like British street life and politics and things like that, and the post-pandemic world that we're still living in. Very, very nicely handled stuff. The performances are really good. I can't judge, just can't be asked bringing up the page to see who's who, especially because these guys don't really have Wikipedia either. But yeah, really good work from the band members, especially the lead singer. I will probably put his name in text form right now. He does a good job. I like his delivery for the most part, and the bassist, whoever that is, also does a good job. We'll also put their name up as well. The production is actually quite great too. It is fairly box standard for its for what it is, but it does work pretty well for it at the end of the day. And the structuring, it's kind of short in places, and it does stumble on occasion, but it does bring itself back with some really catchy tunes and even a bit of restraint, which the band didn't really show a lot of on their debut. But I think they matured a bit too early. It's still really good though, and Kiki Pichi is still a very promising act in British street post-punky stuff, so maybe give this one a spin. Next we go to Oakland, California for Lionheart and their fifth album, Welcome to the West Coast 3. I'm a bit confused by that as well, especially considering their first Welcome to the West Coast was an EP and it wasn't even an album, so there you go. Anyway, this is a beatdown hardcore punk style band, and if you know me, you know I like my Cro-Mags a little bit, I like my Throwdown, I like my Madball. This very much fits into those sort of things, but with a much lighter feel. I'm giving the album a B. I like the heaviness of the riffs. It's very much beatdown hardcore to its core, for lack of a better term. Very much fits it. It's even got like a sort of nu metal vibe bubbling under it as well, but it's mostly focused on the punk vibe, which I think is very much appreciated. The guitar work especially, just very thumping, very heavy, very beat you over the head like. The lyrics focus on like brotherhood and street friendship and things like that, and I kind of like that stuff. There's no like, we're calling you out and we're all on and stuff. It's just like, we got our buddies with us, what you gonna do about it? I like that stuff. Performances are great too, especially the band's drummer Jay Scott, and I'm also giving it a shout out as well because that's the name of a good friend of mine in Eve Head Circles, so on the off chance that Jay is actually watching this, love you, dude. I hope you have a good Hanukkah. And what else is there? Production is really well handled too. Again, fairly box standard, much like it was for Kiki Pichi's album, but still fits in quite well. Not overly unorganic. The structuring, it's one of the shorter albums I've listened to. It's 28 minutes and 40 seconds long. It's not going to take you that long to sit through it, and it's got 11 songs as well. So it is a fair bit short, but then again, that's just what beatdown hardcore is, essentially. It's very short, but very impactful and very exciting stuff. So, yeah, if you like that stuff, and if you're even vaguely familiar with Lionheart, who've been around for almost 2 decades, maybe give this one a try if you're up for it. And finally, for the year, for 2022, we have a first as I go to Jesenice in Slovenia, I almost said Florida, for Within Destruction, and their 5th album, Lotus. It surprised me that this was their 5th album, considering how modern their sort of electronic tinged deathcore style is. It's basically like what Darko US did, but actually handled a little bit better. I'm giving this album a B+. I liked a lot of the things that it had going for it. The heaviness of the riffs was really good. I like the lyrical focus on some mental health stuff, some sort of like angsty and self-hatred stuff as well. It is a bit, a bit too on the nose at times, but it does work really well. It's not as well handled as what Burton Rowe did, but it's still quite nicely done. The performances are really good too. I'm just going to bring up, I'm just going to do that really quick. Didn't mean to press that. Okay. I really like all the work of the band members, but especially drummer Luca Vasosi. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Also, the band doesn't have a bassist, which I found quite interesting, and I like that they don't, because I think like the heaviness of the guitar really would overpower it anyway, especially given their very heavy genre. The production is really good too. I think that's why so many of the electronic elements are added, and I think... Did the band self-produce it? Or... no. It was released through a label called Ultra Heavy. I'm not making that up. But really good production nonetheless. Nonetheless, still very heavy and very well handled, very organic feeling too, which I like. And again, I like the popular elements added. And the structuring is also really, really good. It does a lot of things to fill up the time and builds up to some really nice, chunkier moments. The last song is an instrumental track though, which does sort of take a bit of the fun out for me personally. But it's still a mostly well done instrumental track, and all the rest of the stuff leading up to that is really good. I like some of the guest spots too, and it's just really good electronic leaning heavy deathcore shit. So if you're into that, I suggest maybe giving this one a spin. I don't know. It's really good, so give it a try. And with that, that is the last episode of Music of the Week wraps up. May as well just do the rankings now, from least favourites to most favourites. So, Lionheart with Welcome to the West Coast, Kid Kapichi with Here's What You Could Have Won, Within Destruction with Lotus, Gamora with Dealer of Souls, and obviously at number one, so to speak, Birds in a Row with Greek Klein. However, absolutely, go find these albums for yourself. Go listen to them, go formulate your own opinions. That's what makes this so interesting, even though no one watches these videos. As for what's next from me, I think I'll find the night review, and then after that, I don't know. I'll probably actually get to work on the top 10 UFC fights of 2022, my personal picks, as well as the top 30 albums. I've almost got the list filed down completely. There is a couple of things I need to go back and listen to reconsider, but I do have a lot of the list locked in. I just need to actually write it, you know. So, yeah, that'll be it for that, and as always, well, I can't really think of much else. As always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye.